Guns have been a huge debate among experts for many years. Should we have guns to keep ourselves safe, or are they too dangerous to have? Should we have some restrictions on gun laws, or just let everyone have guns? One of the biggest questions when it comes to gun violence is, who's to blame? The gun, or the person manning the gun? One of the biggest laws for guns is the Second Amendment of the United States of America's Constitution. The amendment states that a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. State governments have the right to make laws for their state. Some states have lots of gun restrictions, while some states have almost no laws whatsoever. There are many different opinions on gun laws. Some people think that there should be absolutely no guns, while others think that everyday citizens should be able to carry guns. While both sides have convincing evidence, it brings a point. Is being so obsessed with objects that's only purpose is to kill a good thing? After looking at the graph, you notice that gun violence is not remotely close to the top of the chart, with tobacco deaths at over 400,000 and gun deaths at only around 40,000. Then again, many of the deaths are either indirect or non-preventable. For example, while tobacco certainly causes death, it's not always the only reason for tobacco-related deaths.
While I see the point that some deaths are indirect or non-preventable, that doesn't change the fact that it is still a problem. People still die from gun-related deaths, and if we aren't able to prevent the other kinds of deaths on that chart, we can still focus on it. Just because something is not the biggest issue around doesn't mean we can completely ignore it.
The United States is by far the country with the most amount of teen and child deaths. Maybe 3.25 children and teens per 100,000 may not seem that much to you, but if you look at the second place contender, Canada, you see that Canada only has 0.75 children and teen deaths per 100,000. You see that America is certainly above the pack.
Door to door to make sure it was clear. Then they pushed everybody back out of here. They swarmed this scene. This is where they've been set up now for several hours. In the meantime, we've been talking to victims, not only people who were just here along the strip, but also in that concert location at that venue at the time the shooting occurred. You heard just what a terrible, chaotic situation this was. You're talking about a guy from an elevated position with an automatic weapon shooting into a crowd. So people from that crowd kind of filtered out. We spoke to a few of them. One woman said she had to hide in a bush for the better part of an hour, terrified, not knowing what's going on. Another woman was in the crowd at the time the firing started. Says it started, obviously it sounded like fireworks or something that was part of the show. I think a lot of people aren't used to the sound of automatic gunfire in this country, so a lot of people didn't know what they were hearing. Then to confirm what it was, to turn around to see that horrific scene from
The Las Vegas shooting was a truly devastating event, I must agree. But a question I have, how did a man manage to smuggle some 47 automatic guns into a hotel that was right next to a concert stadium? Obviously, our security with guns need to be improved. I mean, we have so many precautions at airports, but a highly populated hotel, he was able to smuggle 47 guns. I mean, come on!
In 2011, there were 8 million concealed weapon permits in America. And as of today, all 50 states allow concealed weapon permits. That means that every time you pass someone in the street, they could be holding a gun. In many states, carrying a gun is legal if it is hidden, but illegal if it is not. Of adults who live in rural areas, 46% claim to own a gun, while only 26% of suburban adults claim to own a gun. This is most likely due to the fact that in rural areas, you both have more uses for guns, and that there's not as many people around. On the contrary, 44% of gun-owning parents say that they have a gun loaded and easily accessible in their house, but 82% of gun-owning parents have taught their children about gun safety. This is my opinion on what guns should be allowed. As you can see, automatic guns, semi-automatic guns, bazookas, and other guns of that sort are not allowed. But handguns and hunting rifles are allowed. I believe this will make deaths by guns go down, since these kinds of guns cannot be used for mass shootings, and only for the purposes they were meant for: hunting and single shots, preferably by police. Overall, I believe that there are some guns in this world that are way too dangerous to be in civilians' hands, because they can cause way more deaths than they are worth. The only automatic and semi-automatic guns should be in the hands of the military professionals. Every improvement today is an improvement for the future.